Alright, so what I'm going to show you how to do is transfer your Yamaha PianoSoft floppy disks to your Nalbantov USB stick. So over here I have open a Nalbantov Slim USB stick. You can see all of these files that start with DSKA and end with HFE. These are virtual disks, and so when you have 000 displayed on the front of your Nalbantov, you are playing this virtual floppy disk. Likewise, if you have 008 on the front of your Nalbantov, you're playing from this virtual floppy disk. You can open up Disk Browser, and you can open up these floppy disks and actually see what their contents are. So in this case, Disk 1 has some Brahms and some Mozart. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Player Piano Floppy Backup Utility, and we're going to read our floppy disk. So with the disk inserted, we click Read Disk. That happened for me almost instantly. Usually with floppy disks, it takes about 25 to 30 seconds for the disk to read, or perhaps longer if there's corruption. Importantly, both the disk title and the disk catalog number carried over. If either of these things are missing, it likely indicates corruption on the disk, and they need to be filled in before you can proceed. Once everything is filled in, down here we have our Yamaha extraction mode. In our case, we want US on disk. If, however, you were exporting these files for a later Disklavier, such as the DKC 800 or Inspire, you could actually export them as renamed MIDI files and just transfer those to a USB stick without doing anything more. But in our case, we want to extract US on disk. So from here, we set the output path. In my case, this is C:/PianoSoft, and click Write Files. If there's a considerable amount of corruption on the disk, this may not work, but hopefully it will say all files written OK. Over here in the C:/PianoSoft directory, we now have the Yamaha subdirectory. In there, we see our Les Miserables disk. The Les Miserables disk consists of .fil files. These are Yamaha's proprietary ESEQ format. They correspond roughly to a MIDI file. However, they are the only files that early Disklaviers can play. Importantly, it includes this pianodir.fil. This file contains the directory structure that the DKC5R and other early Disklaviers used to identify the songs, their titles, and their locations on the disk. The disks will typically not play with this file absent. So what we now do is we open the disk browser on the Nalbantov USB stick. Over here, we press Ctrl-A and delete, giving us essentially a new disk to start with. We select all of the Yamaha ESEQ files, including the pianodir.fil, and drag them over to the blank disk. At that point, we now have basically the outline of a floppy disk. We click Save Export, and we select the first blank disk, and I happen to know this disk is blank from earlier today, and save over the title. Now at this point, when we adjust our Nalbantov to disk 3, we will hopefully be playing Les Miserables.